WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Indy Soft Water, installing water softeners and reverse osmosis systems for homeowners and businesses in central Indiana for over 25 years. The softest, cleanest water begins with Indy Soft Water. More at indysoftwater.com.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
This is Butch Slaughter, and you're listening to the echoes of Indiana Avenue. Welcome to my neighborhood, the Avenue. I grew up here, and each week I'll be sharing the sounds and stories of the people that made the Avenue great. Welcome back to the Avenue. During the mid-20th century, social clubs played a large role in the black music scene of Indianapolis. Organizations like the Defiants Club hosted major concerts and dances featuring local bands and singers alongside iconic performers like James Brown and the Temptations. One of the earliest Naptown social clubs to make an impact on the local music scene was the Bohemian Club. The club was started around 1922 and included many prominent Avenue men, from public servants like the Indianapolis police officer Roy Kennedy to William Kidd Edwards, a boxing promoter and owner of a radio and record shop on the Avenue. During the 1920s and 30s, the Bohemian Club hosted spectacular parties in Naptown, featuring live music from national and local performers like Jimmy Nick and Speed Webb. Many of their events, including the club's annual banquet, were held at the Casino Ballroom at the Madam Walker Theater, and the Bohemian Club's headquarters was located nearby at 406 Indiana Avenue. A 1928 article in the Indianapolis Recorder described the Bohemians as a band of jolly good fellows who refused to take life seriously. But the Bohemian Club did have a more serious side, as many of their events were fundraisers for the Indianapolis Colored Orphans Home. In 1936, the Bohemians' popularity grew so strong, they established a club for women known as the Ladies of Charles, named after the Bohemian King Charles. On this week's show, we'll celebrate the history of the Bohemian Club by listening to music from artists who performed at their events. We'll start with 5 songs from the Chicago pianist and vocalist Cleo Brown. She performed at a 1937 event the club hosted at Tomlinson Hall. This is Cleo Brown with When Hollywood Goes Black and Tan. The Stuff Is Here, You're a Heavenly Thing, Cleo's Boogie, and Coffee Colored Child.
Creole babies from Manhattan will be leaving Harlem if they can. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
When Hollywood goes black and tan, Louis Armstrong with his trumpet will be heading westward with his band. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
When Hollywood goes black and tan, Harlem crooners with a swing will be singing at the studio. Piano man falls upon his stool, plays that piano like he's nobody's fool. Everybody grab that glass, 'cause the good stuff's about to pass. And hey, let's get gay, 'cause stuff is I'd like to thank your daddy and your mother for bringing up a child like you. Although I know there'll never be another, to make a dream come true is what they had to do. They took the moonlight out of the skies and put the moon right into your eyes. Like a June night, you're the heavenly thing. They took the fragrance out of the dew and sprinkled roses all over you. Sister went to milk, she didn't know how. She grabbed the bull, she thought it was a cow. Bull started kicking, she hollered, oh, got to do a little boogie anyhow. Boogie, really boogie, boogie. Oh, Lady Lindy walking down the street, she caught the rolling tills and his hired feet. Ooh, little coffee-colored child, I heard a mother say, be gentle always, child, and don't forget to pray. Little coffee-colored child.
That was Cleo Brown with Coffee Colored Child. She performed at a 1937 event hosted by the Bohemian Club, an Indiana Avenue-based social club. The concert was held at Tomlinson Hall and also featured a performance from the legendary Pittsburgh trumpet player Roy Eldridge. We'll hear 4 songs from Roy Eldridge now. Jump Through the Window, Wabash Stomp, After You've Gone, and I Remember Harlem. Stay tuned. Echoes of Indiana Avenue will return after this short break.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
This is Butch Slaughter, and you're listening to the Echoes of Indiana Avenue.
On this week's show, we're celebrating the history of the Bohemian Club by listening to music from artists who performed at their events. The Bohemians were an influential Avenue social club that hosted many spectacular parties during the 1920s and 30s. Their events featured performances from national and local acts, including the legendary Naptown singer Slim Green. He performed for the club in April of 1931. Slim was one of the Avenue's biggest stars during the 1930s. He rose to prominence as a member of the Riff Brothers, an early incarnation of the Ink Spots. But it was Slim's solo recordings for Decca Records that brought him to national prominence, and we'll hear 3 of those tracks now. Cocktails for Two, What's the Reason I'm Not Pleasing You, and Shine.
In some secluded rendezvous that overlooks the 7th Avenue, with someone sharing any life of jazz, of this and that, baby, cocktails will do, as we enjoyed a cigarette butts, when a quizzive chance enough. If you must give me down, how will I know what to do? You can change me about. I'll do what you want me to. So I tried and I tried. Still I never satisfied, baby. What's the reason, baby, I'm not pleasing you? Oh, just because, baby, my hair is curly, baby, just because. See them baby. Oh, just because, mama, always wear smile like you dressed up. Oh, baby, they sound, baby, just because, yo, let them live, baby. When you take trouble with a smile, cause my color shady must be different, baby. That's what told me that.
That was the Naptown vocalist Slim Green with Shine. Slim performed for the Bohemian Club in April of 1931. On this week's show, we're celebrating the history of the Bohemian Club by listening to music from artists who performed at their events. Up next, we'll hear music from the Midwest sax player Clarence Page. He performed for the Bohemian Club in April of 1936. This is Clarence Page and Jack White's Chocolate Bowl Brummels performing It's Tight Like That and Waylon Blues.
My baby said she liked loving done early in the morning before the rising sun. Just tight like that. Yes, sir. Just tight like that. Yes, sir. Just tight like that.
That was Clarence Page with Zach White's Chocolate Bowl Brummels with Waylon Blues. Clarence performed for the Bohemian Club in April of 1936. We'll end with music from the legendary Pennsylvania pianist and bandleader Earl Hines. He performed for the Bohemian Club at Trinity Hall in May of 1936. This is Earl Hines with Pianology and Father's Getaway. That was Earl Hines with Father's Getaway. Earl performed for the Bohemian Club in May of 1936. On this week's show, we've been celebrating the history of the Bohemian Club by listening to music from artists who performed at their events. By the early 1940s, the Bohemian Club had started to fade away, but the legend of the club and their extravagant parties lives on. As a 1947 article in the Indianapolis Recorder stated, the Bohemian Club hosted the ritziest and most elegant affairs ever held along the avenue. It's all the time we have for this week. Thanks for tuning in. You can meet me here on the avenue again next week, same time, same place. And you can find the Echoes of Indiana Avenue podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you download your podcast. Echoes of Indiana Avenue is written and produced by Kyle Long and hosted and co-produced by me, Herman Butch Slaughter.
Nobody knows on uptown, baby, like I do. Nobody knows on uptown, baby, like I do. If you will stop and listen, I will tell you a thing or two.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Indy Softwater, performing service and repairs on over 30 brands of water systems, plus iron and well filtration systems for residential and commercial properties. Includes water tests conducted on-site, providing real-time information about the water quality. The softest, cleanest water begins with Indy Softwater. More at indysoftwater.com.